All right, welcome to another episode of Cracking the Restaurant Labor Crunch. We are here today. I'm going to talk to Calvin Sun from Paylocity in just a second. Before we get to there, I want to thank our diamond sponsor for the event, Performance Food Service. They have been awesome with their support for the event. They are at performancefoodservice.com. So, Calvin, welcome, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, Jamie. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we were just talking before we hit the record button. I'm outside Orlando, so it's still warm here. Calvin is outside of Chicago, or in Chicago. Already getting cold there, right, man?
I feel like now you are just rubbing it in and reminding me on purpose. But yes, we are through. We had 2 days of fall, and now probably won't hit 40 until midday. So really exciting times to be in Chicago.
Yeah, well, finally, listen, this is our sweet spot time of the year that I can rub it in from November to January. It is just awesome down here. Otherwise, it's too hot. So we get our 3 months of bliss for now. It doesn't rain and it's just nice. So, but we're here talking about labor, and we've been doing a bunch of these episodes. A lot of great stuff we're learning. This is the #1 issue for restaurants all across the country. Finding people, keeping people, attracting people, operating with less people, finding efficiencies. And so we can talk both what you're seeing from customers, what you see as a user, as a consumer. What are you seeing out there for restaurants as they struggle through this challenge of finding people, attracting people, and so forth? What do you got?
Yeah, well, what I'm seeing is a lot of help wanted signs. I'll tell you that. Me and my wife, we were out to dinner 2 days ago, and it was just like a local sushi spot, and yeah, they had a sign, we're hiring a host, a wait staff, a dishwasher, cook. It's just like, and like it's you see it everywhere. And I mean, I don't think we need to belabor the point, right? But it's very much now that, sure, there's a lot of unemployed folks out there, but there's so many opportunities and there's so many jobs that are available that people have the opportunity to pick and choose, right? It's, I don't know, what would that be called? A buyer's market, right? Whatever the case may be, is now you have to go beyond just the basics in order to attract talent. So I'm like, now just to clarify, I'm not a recruiting expert. I am an HR person. I'm a comp person. I'm a talent analytics data person, right? And this is something that we're seeing across the board. And the #1 thing, I mean, take Paylocity for example. Prior to the pandemic, I promise I'll land plane here. Prior to the pandemic, we were 44% fully remote. That was a perk that we offered. We're up to right now, I think we're about 4,700 employees now. During the pandemic, we're 56% fully remote. Now we're obviously working remotely, everyone, but if you start, like if you're meant to be in an office, we're still tagging you to an office. But right now we're all working fully remote, not going into the offices. I've added people on my team. We're opening up new candidate pools simply by saying, yeah, we're totally cool with you staying remote forever. People are leaving jobs because even at the prospect of one day, once the pandemic is over, of being forced or asked, we're required to go back to the office, regardless if it's 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 1 day a week, right? So now what used to be a perk of working remotely is now table stakes. You got to have it. Otherwise, you are limiting your candidate pool, right? You're limiting the people you are able to attract, right, and retain and incentivize to do good work. That's the same exact thing we're seeing, right, in the restaurant world, in a lot of these other jobs where it's like, again, sometimes it's not the most desirable job out there. So what can you do, right, besides raising wages? Raising wages is people always default to, yeah, I'll just, pay 50 cents an hour more, $3 more, whatever the case may be, how crazy you want to get. People see that as a transactional change, right? That's okay. That's fine. But you're not the only person that can pay me X% more each hour or each day, right? What other elements can you offer as an employer to make that experience of working at your establishment and your organization better? I think that's where people need to start thinking about. And that's where you need to get a little outside of the box to differentiate yourself.
Yeah, definitely. All right, 100%. You hit on a bunch of trends there that are very accurate. When you talk about what else, right? A couple of things that have come up and that I'll mention in some of the conversations I have. The culture piece has come up. Benefits has come up. What do you got? You guys are deep in this every day. So what are you seeing companies offer that go beyond pay, that go beyond structure? What are some interesting changes?
Yeah, and again, it's like I think we need to, when we're thinking about outside the box, and we try not to contradict myself, right? But when you think about outside the box, you also need to kind of really make it simple. And what I mean by that is people like working with people that they like being around. They like to build that sense of community. I was interviewing somebody earlier today, and she was like, yeah, you know, I used to work out of our Rochester office. I moved down to Florida. There's an office here, but I don't know anybody there. I have no interest of going into that office, right? There's that same element, right? When we're talking, whether we're talking restaurants or what have you, is how do you build that sense of community? How do you welcome somebody new, right? In a new and unique way, help them understand who the other people help them get to know the people that they work with and build those bonds. You know, it's very much a relationship, you know, a relationship business internally as well, right? So, and what a lot of our customers are doing, right? They're making it easy. So if I switch to technology, so technology, the biggest thing here is the more we stay at home, the more convenient technology becomes, the more the lines blur, right, between work and personal life, the more our expectations change, right? The example I always give is if I'm interacting with technology for work, regardless of what it is, whether it's viewing a pay stub, whether it's sharing a document, right, whatever the case may be, that experience should be just as smooth and streamlined as if I was ordering a pizza on the Domino's app, right? That should be like, there should be no delineation. And before, we used to have to jump through hoops and, to do really simple things at work. And we understood that, we were okay with that. That can't be the case now. So like, our customers lean into community, right? We have community. It's essentially our kind of online social and collaboration platform. But the whole key point of that is it's an app on your phone. You get notifications when there's things you need to know. You can go there and you can interact, you can react, and you can have a conversation. It's that simple. When this pandemic hit, I don't even want to count the months, it's too long ago. But when this pandemic hit over 18 months ago, our CEO, Steve, just went on and just posted a video on community. Didn't have any answers. Hey, guys, we're trying to figure it out. Here are the things we're considering. We might shut down the office next Monday. We don't know yet. Here's a video. That was one of the most well-received, most frequently interacted with pieces of content our company's ever released, right? Had no answers, but it was very much, you got a notification, you were informed on what's going on, and you could go on there and you could ask questions. You could see that other people were wondering about the same things, had the same questions, maybe get some answers from people who were offering some context. Like, you're building a community. You can't have that now in person. I mean, think about it. Even in a restaurant, you have shifts. I've done plenty of restaurant jobs growing up. There were people that I would never see and never interact with. So how do I get to build that sense of community with them? Right? It's those kind of things.
Yeah, as you're talking, a couple things are going off in my head, and one of them you just hit on there at the end. You talk about restaurants, and there's several shifts, different. This one's working 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and so yeah, there's people that you don't see, that don't get communicated to, and there's a lot of changes. There's a lot, especially lately. There's a lot of pivots in the marketplace. So I really like this idea of grabbing because it's very simple these days, right? Grab your phone, shoot a video as the owner or as the manager. And it could be about something important or something non-important, just a communication aspect of what's going on in the restaurant, specials this week, marketing efforts, all that stuff. But now it's probably done in, I'm going to say 90 seconds. You could shoot that in 90 seconds. Everybody on the team can consume that, and so forth. Then there's different platforms for that. And I think, to your point, you guys must offer a platform that helps do that. So have you seen anybody kind of do more interesting things with video to get feedback to, I had written down, build those bonds. Like, how are people building those bonds in a weird relationship where we have all this crazy stuff going on?
Yeah, I mean, like video, we got into video. We really kind of invested in this whole concept of video. I want to say, You know, I want to say we're probably at the forefront of this because we just think it's such a much more personal one. It's easier, like you said.
Yeah.
You record it. You don't have to plan stuff. It's super easy. I'm not here typing an email, posting something on the bulletin board. So what? And we do prefer that. And it's like it's just a more personable conversation. Jamie, if we were talking and we didn't have our videos on, it would feel very different, right? If this was a voice only, sound only conversation, the fact that I get to, you know, see your face, you know, I can tell you're warm, you can tell I'm cold, right? Like this changes the dynamic. And like, you know, for us, it's not just, you know, leaders communicating with folks. You know, we've done things where we've done talent shows. Right. We've literally done virtual talent shows that weren't live. And we had like someone that was juggling fire in their backyard. I will tell you, we did a virtual talent show and people loved it because we couldn't do a real talent show. We couldn't do a winter party. Now I know somebody at Paylocity that literally juggles balls that were on fire. Right. So it's like, okay, maybe I'm interested in that. Now I can have a reason to reach out to that person, right? It's stuff like that. It's organizing local events. We do a lot of charity drives, right? We do a lot of local community outreach that we're super, super proud of, right? We find ways to organize that, to showcase that, right? To connect people through that, through video. We even do stuff like when we post you know, a lot of our jobs online, you click through, especially our jobs where we're hiring hundreds of people a year. There's a video in the job posting where you can actually see what it's like to do this job and some of the people in it, that sort of thing. And again, it's really adding that level of personality to it. And it's like, even like LMS, right? Learning management system. For us, I mean, you know, we bring on a lot of new hires. I know this happens in the restaurant too. You have seasonal folks. You have people coming in and out, right? It's you know, it's a big element of that industry. You not only can one, you know, whoever is running the organization go and record some videos and you know, use that to onboard people and show people the ropes. If you have someone who's really good at something, hey, here's how I upsell this dish. Hey, here's how I make this drink, whatever the case may be. That person can record a video on their phone and share it, right? And again, it's this community of content, right? You don't have to have one single content creator, right? That's, I mean, and again, it's kind of how we designed our LMS. We do see our
We've lost Calvin temporarily. Let's see if he comes back here. All right, so we are back after a little technical snafu. Imagine that. Internet technology not working for a second. So Calvin, you were riffing, man. You were talking all about what restaurants are seeing with technology and the changes. So let's talk a little bit more, and then I want to get to, well, you know, let me hit a couple things you were just talking about. You were just talking about the talent show idea. That was like a fun idea where I can see people use video. And I wrote down also this, the camera thing. I think it's probably a moot point now, but a lot of people still feel like I can't record myself on camera. I'm too camera shy. Well, get over it. Like that is gone. Like I used to feel the same way. And even now I still hate being on camera, but I have to, and I do it. So that's the way it is. So point your thing at yourself, record, have some personality, share that stuff. It is absolutely a great way to connect with your group. So 100%. Question for you. One of the things that came up in another talk from an owner was like paying people faster. And I think do you guys get involved in that aspect of the business?
We absolutely do. I will say just one comment on the camera stuff. People's expectations of what production value is completely different now. I mean, sure, you have stuff like TikTok and Instagram where it's kind of changing how content is created. But I mean, you go on any newscast and you see people zooming in with grainy video, right? Like people need to understand that like, this isn't something we understand. We're all on the same page, and you don't need super polished visual effects or what have you to convey a message. Now, paying people sooner. This was something where. And again, like I'd love to say that we are such trailblazers in this, and you know, and I won't try to oversell it, but this was something that completely blew my mind when I was asked this question. So we have this thing called on-demand pay, right? It's literally as it sounds. It's if you want to get paid, you click a button, And whatever you've earned in that pay period, right? If you're hourly, you calculate, run your timesheets, right? It'll make sure that it has, still enough money to put stock aside for deductions and taxes and whatnot, right? It won't let you overextend, overextend it. And then you hit a button and it just sends you your money. Because guess what? You've already earned it. You can do that as many times as you want during the pay period. You can do it, what have you, right? There are no restrictions.
Yeah.
So again, it's pretty straightforward. I still remember talking to our product teams when they were, first rolling this out, and we have this thing called DOW, drink our own wine, right? It's this whole dog fooding concept of we beta test everything we do. We try to break our tools. We use it first. Dog food is kind of not appetizing. I love wine. We all love wine, I feel like. So, that's why we went that direction. But so when they were introducing this concept to us and asking us to try it out, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. He goes, and the question asked me, Calvin, why are you paid every other week? Why do we do it? And I was like, and I've ran payroll before at other companies. So I was like, I guess I literally never thought about that. That was one of the things in this world where I never thought twice. You go outside, you put on pants, you go to work, you get paid twice a month or every other week, right? But there's no reason for that outside of, if we were running more payrolls, it would be administratively impossible. But when you have a system to do it, and when you can offer that to your employees, I mean, again, I remember, growing up and it's like, oh, I could really use $50 right now to fill up my gas tank. Or I hadn't paid my electric bill yet, right? And I did not. I should have paid my electricity bill instead of ordering those drinks at the bar, right? I feel like I'm sharing too much about my personal life here, but that's something where it's like, let's make it easy. You can do it on the phone, on your app. You can do it on your computer. It doesn't matter. And it's your money. You've earned it. So again, it's a small thing, but if you can offer these types of experiences or for the folks, at your restaurant or at your organization, I think it goes a long way to show that, hey, we get it. Everyone has their own thing. Everyone is different. And we're going to find all these different ways to try to support you and connect with you beyond just, I'm going to I'll give you a quarter extra an hour, right? I think the trade-off is, it's not something that you can kind of weigh.
I'm sure that's a very, very well received feature. And let's imagine a world where every single person does it. Then it's not a differentiating factor. But I'm sure it's not the case that every restaurant or payroll service can offer that. So it's just another thing you can say in the interview process. Well, another benefit we have is boom, you hit that button and you get paid. So I heard that mentioned a couple of times. And so if that's where the trend is, and people are working the gig economy, if you drive for Uber or Amazon or whoever, and they can pay you daily, people are getting used to that. So a good thing to think about. As we start to wrap, any other features or tech stuff that you guys have seen restaurants in particular really appreciate as we've gone through this pandemic and this labor crunch, or you can lead with, where else to go to find your stuff online, social, etc.
Yeah. I mean, definitely check out our website. It's just paylocity.com. It's pretty straightforward, but if anyone is interested, feel free to reach out. We've got a great team of folks who can, show you the features of our system and everything we can do much better than I can ever talk about them. But I will tell you, like, what we're seeing out there, and we have case studies out there on our website as well. Case studies from numerous restaurants that have found success with our platforms. So definitely check that out. But I will tell you, in this environment, it is the need to feel connected, right? Regardless of, whether or not you're how much you've stayed at home and how much you're still continuing to stay at home, this whole thing about building connections, about finding ways to share information and share content. And again, just trying to find new and unique ways to support your folks and attract people to your organization. That is the number one thing that our clients are doing. And then there's like fun stuff. Like I'm a numbers guy, right? There's dashboards you can go in, you can track overtime and, schedules and what people are doing where. If you have different locations, we make it all easy for you. But that's more of for the admin, I'll call it, right? That role. It really kind of gives you a nice overview because guess what? Mental health, burnout, that is real. People aren't nice. I truly believe that every single person in their life needs to work in the service industry at least once. I truly believe it. Then you get rid of all the mean people because you work there, you stop being mean, you
100%.
realize how important that is, right? But burnout is real. Burnout is absolutely real. So you want to make sure, hey, like, sure, someone may be picking up a lot of shifts because they have to, because you're short-staffed. Make sure you monitor that. Because if you're already short-staffed, you want to find ways to help your folks that you still have. And if they burn out, then you're in the deeper hole. So there's stuff like that you want to make sure you're thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. I love that aspect. We don't think about it enough of bringing fun into the workplace, whether it's a competition, a giveaway, bonding thing, technique, a lot of interesting ideas you can brainstorm with your team. You don't have to be the genius. Throw it out to your team. They will throw stuff back that you're like, oh, shoot, that's a great idea. So appreciate everything we talked about today. Again, I want to thank our diamond sponsor, Performance Food Service, for their support of the Labor Crunch Show. They are at performancefoodservice.com. For runningrestaurants.com, I am Jaime Oikle, and I want to thank you, Calvin Sun from Paylocity, for being with us. We'll see everybody soon. Thanks much.
All right, thanks.